All right, folks, welcome in. We are streaming live. We are just firing up the live stream here in the studio. I'm Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy. We've got Seth Bonoff here, meteorologist Jacob Dickey, also in the storm tracker here tonight. We are going to be doing your coverage here, letting you guys know what's going on. We'll just make sure that everybody can hear and see everything clearly before we kind of get going into the full-fledged coverage of all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Tornado watch, more south now?
Yes.
Okay, so this just coming into us here, and we're going to get you that here. We're going to let the folks kind of come in here on the live stream and make sure that you guys are all able to hear us okay. And then we'll kind of dive into this, but it does look like some information just coming down that a tornado watch extension has occurred with the watch that was issued a little bit earlier. And so what we can do here is just kind of fire that up for you to start that out with our coverage here. Then we'll get into who's under the gun and what we've got. So look at this. Okay, some counties that were not in a watch before are now in there. So now we're talking Edgar County, you're talking Coles County, Moultrie County here, Shelby County. The potential is going to be there for these storms to have tornadoes, damaging winds, and already we have had reports of some large hail, actually some golf ball size hail in Logan County within the last half hour near the Broadwell area. We've got a picture of that, so we'll share that with you. We're going to check in with Jacob here as well. We're going to bounce around between our different cameras, the radar views that we've got, and just kind of follow along. So if you are watching us here tonight, sit back. We're going to get you through this event as we do all of them. We're going to track each one of these storms, see how they develop. There's still a little question mark. Are these storms going to maintain their strength, okay, as they push off to the east? Is that going to be the case or not? But it's kind of a wait and see game. This is real life reality TV for you here because we're waiting and watching this, have to see how things play out. But here's what we've got as far as under the gun. The biggest area is the Bloomington Normal area, actually seeing a pretty good storm come into there. As a matter of fact, we've got some camera views that we can look at with that as well. But we've been watching our camera that was over around the Springfield area a little bit earlier. Look at that. Things are looking a lot calmer there than what we had a little bit earlier. But now we're looking at places like this in Normal, where the rain is starting to come down. Okay, you're seeing that there on our weather camera. And then we've got eyes over in Bloomington as well that we can switch to. You can see some of the lower clouds there, the darkening of the skies, and some of that rain. These storms are tapping into a volatile atmosphere that have been primed all day with the heating. We all know it's been hot today, right? It's been 91 degrees, record highs, felt like 97 at times. And so we've had a lot going on. Now, if you're in places like Champaign, not much is going on here yet, okay? We're watching things out to the west, but nothing just yet in our area here. Same for Danville, same for, Monticello, Charleston, Mattoon, not seeing much yet. But we're just kind of in the beginning phases of this. I really think it's the next 2 hours or so that we're kind of in the heart of this where we could have this severe weather. Warnings right now are in effect for Sangamon County with this cell here. Really interesting little cell there that's kind of become elongated. It stretches back there onto the east side of town. And then we go to the north, and then there's that storm that just came through the Lincoln area, the Weather Service office there. It's at the top of the radar that you see right there. Strongest storm there probably between Atlanta and Waynesville now. Heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of hail. And that one's going to kind of right up there into McLean County, and then we've got another cell kind of ahead of that. So we've kind of had these combining and merging of some of these cells here with the development of these storms. They went from nothing to just rapid development here. Really strong updrafts supporting some of the hail that we've seen so far. So what is going to happen for areas out here to the east is the big question, Gibson City and over here towards Hayworth and Farmers City, maybe up towards, places like Fisher and Foosland. Will these storms maintain that strength? We can look at all the model data you want to, but this is what we call the now casting portion of the forecast. We have to look at current conditions, radar views, look at some of the parameters happening in the atmosphere right now to try to predict how things are going to evolve. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. right now. Let's see if we've got Jacob over there. We'll go to him first because he's out in the storm tracker. Jacob, where are you at? What are you looking at? And what's your plan here?
Yeah, hey, Kevin. We are looking to the north and west right now. I'll pull my camera up first to give you a peek of the view. So we passed Maroa, and we're on Kenny Road, south of Clinton, kind of on the southern DeWitt, north of Maroa, southern DeWitt County, north of Maroa there. And so taking a look at that storm that's in front of us now, that's going to be the Atlanta to Lincoln, moving off to the east, and I'll turn that a little bit for you. And you can see some lightning coming on through with this. It's really something else to see. I would expect to see views of this more in Oklahoma and Texas. At this point, we're getting a little bit of rain here, and you can kind of see that yellowish, it's kind of a hazy hue that's in the sky there. That is rain curtains and also some of the hail curtains that are in there. There are some features that we're kind of watching and keeping an eye on. You can kind of make out some lowering in the back of these storms. I think, to me, so far, this cluster of storms from Bloomington down towards Lincoln in front of us is maybe a little bit better for the hail potential. But the fact that they're clustered all together, it's hard to see an updraft that's sustaining itself and having a clear pathway to getting a potential tornado out of it. But some of the hail, there's been golf ball size hail, also some semis blown over on 155 there north of Lincoln. So that's that. Then why don't I bring you to my side view here, and I'll bring the camera down and lower this for a minute. Looks like I lost that camera. Bear with me for a second here as I reset that. And that is a view as we look off to the east. This is the storm down by Springfield. Then you can kind of see through there. I'm very interested in that storm on the southern side. If there was something that were to go tornadic, that might have a better chance than some of these others. Now that's looking west. We're about 8 miles east of Kenny there. And you can see looking a little ominous out here. That hazy look. That's, Kevin, to me, yeah, there's some rain curtains in there, but that to me stands out more as some hail that is showing up here. So we'll keep you updated in the storm tracker. In the meantime, I'm going to sit here for a bit. I got a great path north to Clinton to get east on Route 10 if I need to, but I also am keeping myself in play for that Springfield storm. Should it start to organize, it would move towards Maroa, maybe cut Maroa to Forsyth if it were to organize a bit more. So leaving some options here. We're going to try and follow those storms back to the east towards Champaign, Rantoul, Gibson City, Paxton, places like that. But certainly getting a lot of hail reports out here already, Kevin, and I think the hail may end up getting bigger from here. In the storm tracker, northwest of Maroa in southern DeWitt County, I'm Jacob Dickey. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Jacob. Appreciate that that report. Here's the thing. Look at this. Look at this camera view. This is Bloomington. There's some hail in that. The rain is literally almost going sideways. Let me take this full for you so you can see it better. This is in Bloomington right now. That storm is right on top of Bloomington. A severe thunderstorm warning. I bet there's some hail there. You can almost maybe even pick out some of that. It almost looks like snow. I mean, look at that there. You can kind of see the white. Those are. I don't think those are just raindrops there. So look at that right there in the Bloomington area. And then I can take this camera and also look at our other one that's just off there a little bit to the north in Normal. And you can kind of see the same thing there with the heavy rainfall that's coming in as well. So Bloomington Normal area getting hit pretty hard with this storm here right now. That's probably one of the stronger ones that we're seeing at this time. But we're definitely keeping an eye on all of these as they moved into still a pretty primed atmosphere for that severe weather. Okay, so we've got that. I want to show you a picture that we got just a little bit ago of the hail. This was over near Broadwell, and let me fire that up for you. Golf balls. Okay, golf ball size hail reported over there. This came in 2 miles to the northwest of Broadwell. Now that is in Logan County. Essentially, it's just south and west of Lincoln, but 1.75 inch hail, and that's what you're looking at. That's golf balls right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now that is the storm that is now up there. I believe now that might actually be the Bloomington storm now. They're all kind of coming together, but that's the kind of thing we're dealing with when you have these strong updrafts. A day like today, a lot of energy, a lot of instability for those storms to kind of feed into. And so that's what we are getting so far here tonight with our storms. All right, we got meteorologist Seth Bonoff that's in here with us in the studio as well, watching our storms. keeping an eye on these warnings here. So far, the southern end of these don't have any warnings with them. The northern end do. We're kind of in that wait and see game right now. We've had this cap on the atmosphere that obviously is broke in some areas. The question again is, are we going to see these maintain their strength as they go off to the east? Seth, we'll bring you in here and kind of tell us about what you're thinking and seeing over there.
Yeah, just kind of looking at the way things have been here for a little bit. You can just tell the atmosphere is very explosive, and I'll kind of get my picture popped up here so I can kind of just walk folks through kind of the nature of some of these storms. And now I've got it flipped over here to my radar. So I'll just kind of show you earlier here in the evening when we first had these storms in the area. I'm going to back up my radar here a little bit and take you out to the west where we first saw some of those. And just to talk about how explosive this environment is, we looked at closer to 6 o'clock. We had our newscast getting started. We saw these little blips out here to the west, just this little bitty stuff here and there that looked pretty innocent at first. And of course, that's how every storm starts, is with just some innocent little indications on radar. But notice the timestamp up there, 6:02 p.m. Watch what happens when I take it all the way to about 6:25. Just look how it just explodes. And we kind of warned that's how these storms would behave. There was an atmosphere. It was 90 degrees almost everywhere today. We had dew points in the 70s. Felt like summer out there, but when you have an environment like that, there's just so much energy to work with, and those storms just fire up there immediately. You can see the white cores there in some of those storms that indicate to us some pretty large hail, maybe even had some, I don't know, tennis balls at one point in those storms. Now, things have come down just a little bit as we've seen it shoot off to the east, but we just kind of monitor things here. I'll bring up one radar product real quick that shows that instability. There's still plenty of it out there. Those purplish colors, that's still where everything is. So even though these storms are kind of fired up, there's a lot more energy to tap into. There's still potential. These things could kind of ride that instability here through the night as that dry line has fired up some of those storms. So yes, a very explosive environment that these storms have been able to just kind of jump at and tap into. And we kind of see it sometimes, Kevin, with these setups, the hot temperatures, the high humidity, all that builds up. And once that storm is formed, it's all got to come down there again at some point. So that's kind of going to be the nature of stuff as we move forward. We'll kind of watch it, but plenty of instability out there still to tap into.
All right. Sounds good. I will say this. I'm also looking at this storm. This is actually east of Springfield now. It's going to be near Dawson, Buffalo area. These cells have kind of going through a little bit of an evolution here, and we're kind of getting this tail end on this storm that just has me kind of looking at it closely. We're going to monitor that, see what that thing does, as it may kind of head up, maybe closer towards Illiopolis, Latham, Warrensburg area, maybe, as that kind of moves to the northeast. So I'm just going to watch that area there because it's a little bit of an intensification. And we'll keep an eye on it for you. We're kind of analyzing all of these storms one by one and just kind of looking at them and seeing if there's anything particular that concerns us. And got storms that are back down here towards Pawnee and starting southeast of Verdon. None of those are severe down that way, but our severe weather, to be honest with you, Logan County, you don't really have a whole lot right now. You've still got Bloomington there, where, again, I think we had some pretty large hail there. Let's come back over to our camera because I think they're on the northeast side of town. You've got some fairly decent hail there. There's Bloomington once again. And we were kind of showing you those cameras a little bit earlier, and it just looked like it was hail. They looked to be too big for just raindrops. It's come to normal. I bet that camera's got a little bit. How about that? The sun is out. If we could turn that camera, we'd probably see a rainbow. You can see the sun there, some of the rain, and maybe those hailstones that are falling there. I believe we just got a report that they actually had some golf balls also in the Bloomington area with the storm that came through. Let's see here. Just looking at some of the reports. 60-mile-an-hour gust in McLean. 1-inch size hail in Shirley. That is in McLean County. You're looking at, some of those reports just kind of streaming into us. If you've got anything, let us know what you are seeing in your area. We are monitoring the chat there. We're kind of keeping an eye on what you guys are talking about there. So if you've got some reports, let us know. I will say this as we go throughout the course of tonight, and then also for tomorrow when we might have severe weather. You guys actually help us out tremendously when you tell us what happens where you are. You may think we already know sometimes. We don't always. We can look at radar. We can estimate what things are doing. But there's not 100% confidence. So your guys' reports actually help us out a ton. So when you get hail, let us know. Let us know the size. Let us know what city you're in. Take a picture of it, compare it to something. Wind damage, if you have any of those wind damage, obviously we do TV. So we like pictures, we like video. You can get those to us in multiple ways. All of our Facebook pages, if you follow any of our meteorologists, go to the Facebook page, message us. You can also email, just write the email down, weather@wcia.com. Okay, you can do that. You can also upload via the weather app, the WCIA3 weather app. You've got pictures and things. We would love to see them. So again, just a plea for reports when you guys actually have something out there.
Looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. It is the southernmost one that we have now, but this one heads into parts of Christian County. So now Christian County is in on some official severe weather activity as we watch those southern storms. Now a few of them starting to grab some warnings here. I think Taylorville is just south of that warning, but some places there in the northern part of the county are under that one.
Okay, there you go. Mount Auburn, Kincaid, Pawnee under that warning with that newest warning that just came out. Again, I'm still watching this guy over near Mechanicsburg, Lanesville. I mean, the thing right along I-72 just has my attention a little bit more than some of the others. It's got that look to it. It's also got a little bit of an uptick and maybe some of the hail in that storm as well in the last few scans. So want to watch that. Okay, if you're in Illiopolis, just got to be paying attention. As that storm is, let's kind of look at it. Let's take this, put a little bit of a loop on it, see its actual movement to the north and east. Well, actually, boy, that thing's going just straight east. That kind of edge there is kind of going east. So yeah, along I-72 there, be watching things if you're down that way. Macon, Sangamon, Christian, Logan County with the new severe thunderstorm warning we just talked about there, but it's an interesting thing because if you look at it, the Weather Service has that warning that is for that southern cell. They've got one for the northern one, but in between, they may have to kind of reissue another one because that storm there is looking a little more interesting along I-72 east of Mechanicsburg, heading towards Illiopolis and kind of riding along I-72, maybe down the line towards Niantic. We'll see what they opt to do with that. I mean, technically, Illiopolis, you're in that warning that's actually issued for the southern cell there, but you're technically in it also for this little guy here that, again, grabbing a bit more of my attention with some of even a little bit of rotation that's in there as well. I mean, I'll just say it. I think there's probably the best looking one out of anything at all. So we'll be watching that one. The nice thing is we're going to have eyes on that here pretty soon because Jacob's over north of Forsyth. He's going south there on 51. And so then he'll hop on 72 there probably and head west towards that. Maybe intercept it there. It depends if this thing, because it's going kind of straight east right now, but something to watch.
Yeah, and we've brought up the name before, but a professor at the U of I, Jeff Frame, looks like he's heading right for that one too. And when Jeff is on stuff, you kind of know. Yeah, that's probably the most interesting thing out there.
Jeff, yep, Jeff's good. And sometimes Jeff will post some pictures and things, and we have his permission to use those. So we kind of utilize him as some eyes out there too. So we'll see. Keep an eye on his X. We'll say that in case he posts anything. But that storm there, yeah, he's heading towards that one. It's probably got a little bit of hail in there. It's enhanced a little. I'll be curious to see what the next radar frame does with that. And I'll just zoom this out a little bit because, again, I know we've got people watching us from a lot of areas, and they're saying, okay, what's going on? You're not talking about my town. What about my town? If we're not talking about you, there's a good chance that nothing's happening yet. If we do talk about you, that means that's our highest priority and concern because storms are coming your way. So that's why you're not here to talk about Champaign or Danville or Mattoon or Charleston or Paris. Okay. When will you see storms? Well, we're kind of in the prime of it, or the next 2 to 3 hours staying weather aware. So all locations downstream of this, down the line from this, need to be paying attention. But right now, the biggest concern, probably with our storm here in McLean County, that's going to head up there into Livingston County. And then we're looking at this cell down here, Eastern Sangamon, going to be clipping kind of the four 3 or 4 corner area there of Sangamon, Logan, Macon, and DeWitt County there, who knows, that kind of whole area that we're going to be watching out for in Christian County there, I should say. So we're keeping a close eye on that general area as of right now. Okay, just looking at some other pictures here. Again, these storms have had a history of producing golf ball size hail at the minimum. So in Lexington, got a report. So Lexington up in McLean County, it's kind of the northern part of McLean County. So each area, town, city, village, they all opt to do things differently. They all can sound the sirens when they want, and they actually are sounding the sirens up there because they have a ton of outdoor events that are going on, that they said, with reports of large hail and strong winds. So they actually did sound the sirens, not for a tornado, but that is a pretty strong storm that's up there. It's got some hail, and they said a lot of outdoor events. So if you know anybody up that way, that's why the sirens are going off, not necessarily for a tornado, but more for those other aspects of the storm that we're seeing. Okay, starting to see, I just got a nice little lightning strike there on our Decatur camera. I'm going to take you back down to the storm that, again, just has my attention. We're watching it there. Illiopolis, this one's coming for you. Niantic. Okay, western portions of Macon County. There is a little rotation within that. What's our view like on the weather camera there? Are we getting anything to the west on that yet? It's still probably too far away.
Looks a little fuzzy right now. Yeah, I'm not picking up. I've got it on the monitor right above me. I'm
Okay.
kind of waiting for that one to roll on in. Jeff Frame did post a picture on Twitter. I'm working on sharing my screen here real quick just so we can see that. It's nothing much, but he says unable to determine rotation based on his current vantage point of it. So give me a second here. Maybe I can get that image up. Again, it's not a whole lot to look at, but I'll try to give you what I can here.
I can tell you this, Jeff, according to his last spotter position was actually right about here on I-72. So he would be looking pretty close into that storm.
So that's his view. I'll get the caption out of the way there. And again, he says he can't really pick up any rotation on that just yet, but that's the view that Jeff Frame has as he's going into that storm that we've noted. Kind of looks the most interesting. So of course he'll keep eyes out for that. And he's pretty good at positioning himself, of course, too. So that's his view. And we'll continue to look for some updates there on his page.
Well, this is why I say it's interesting, too, because like if we look at that, we typically try to look at these reds and these greens here, and there's nothing that's what we call a tight couplet or anything, but there's enough that's going on there, a little twisting, maybe a little rotation that's showing up that we're going to just kind of keep an eye on. Okay, they did this issue, as I mentioned, probably that warning that I thought was going to happen to kind of take into account this cell. So now you're going to talk about areas there in western Macon County, Warrensburg. Maroa, you're in this, Emory, Forsyth. Decatur's north and west side, you're technically in it. The question is, what we've got right here, got some hail. Definitely some hail in here. These purple colors, you're going to have some of that hail in there. Right now, this thing's been kind of just hugging right along I-72. We'll see if, a lot of these ones have been moving kind of northeast, but this one, if I just look at it, and I'm going to do the last 15 minutes. So it really kind of is going a little bit more to the east and hugging their 72. Maybe it lifts just a little bit to the north and east. And that's kind of what the Weather Service is thinking. If you look at the orientation of the warning that they've got, it is more to the north and east than it is just kind of straight east. But definitely looking at that storm there. Jacob's going to have a view on it here before too long, but Illiopolis, it's about to get loud where you are. Let's see. I think our lightning. I want to see what oh my goodness. That's a lot of lightning. Wow. Okay. It's the first time I've kind of brought on our lightning parameter. That is a ton of lightning. Wow. Look at that. So what we can actually do is, I can look at these and ask it to count up the lightning strikes for me. And in that area, I don't know. I'm going to guess 200. Let's see what we got. 298. 298 strikes there. That is a lot of lightning on essentially kind of one storm. So what does that tell us? Well, sometimes how electrically charged the storm is an indicator of how strong the storm is, and there is a ton on this one. I am just telling you, lightning strikes are plentiful with this. So we're going to be watching that carefully as well. Boy, that storm over Illiopolis and Niantic, just be paying attention there, guys. If you're in that area with that storm, just keep an eye on that storm there. If you're in Warrensburg, Harristown, Niantic, we're watching it carefully. It's definitely got some hail within it too, but wouldn't be surprised if we start to get a rotation picking up there as well. Is there what was that from? Funnel cloud southeast of Riverton? Is that right? Is that what
Yeah, it's what we've got in the chat here, at least.
All right. So it's like Train Spotter was reporting a funnel cloud. I think it's on this same storm that we're kind of looking at here. So that was a few minutes ago. Funnel cloud there, southeast of Riverton. So this storm is now well east of that, obviously. So again, probably the best looking storm from terms of some rotation that we've got in there right now. Be on the lookout there. If you're in Illiopolis, that storm is coming in on you as we speak. Anywhere between Niantic, Harristown, and Warrensburg, Latham areas, just got to be paying attention as this is going to be moving off here to the east. Let's back this out just a little bit. I just want to come back down to this other cell. This other cell down into Christian County looking pretty good. Some hail in that. And that's kind of been the biggest thing. We thought all day, hey, these things are going to have some hail within them, be some decent and prolific hail producers. And I think we're seeing that with some of these radar signatures that we've got. So that storm that is just west of Mount Auburn looking good. And then further down to the south in Macoupin and Montgomery County, still seeing some storms there. The storm that is, boy, I got to tell you, that come back over to the Livingston County storm. That's got some hail in it too. And so, oh yeah, so is that
it's baseball size what they've ordered for.
Baseball. Okay, so yeah. There you go. So that's in the northeast corner of McLean County and heading into Livingston County. They've got the basically destructive. I believe that's one that triggers the wireless emergency alerts, right?
I believe you're right. Yep.
So that's happening up there with that. So let's see. I think you got the hail thing. Go ahead.
Yeah,
and,
I'm going to try to get it here real quick. I'll go ahead and.
Yeah. So we can look at the hail on the radar there and what it's showing. And again, this is northeastern McLean County heading into southwest Livingston County. Look at that.
I'm going to try to pop it right in there in that pink. I think it's giving us just a little less than 2-inch hail, but might be underestimating a little bit. Obviously, the reports that we get, we're going to trust the most, but pretty wide swath of hail regardless. And I'll kind of zoom this out a little just to let you position yourself. This is just on the kind of southern edge there of the Livingston County line, right there along McLean County as well. But this is kind of moving to the north and east, so you got to watch out for places like maybe Sonneman there at some point. This might go just south of Pontiac. We're going to kind of keep an eye on that. But warned for baseballs, even if you only end up with ping pong balls, it's still going to lead to some dents out there.
So I find this kind of interesting is the fact that the wireless emergency alert is also going off for parts of Ford County there. So Gibson City, you just had that go off for you. Melvin, you had that go off for you. But as I'm looking at it, that storm is to your west. Maybe it clips that the far northern kind of panhandle there. But right now, the worst of that is not impacting places like Gibson City, Sibley, Melvin, Roberts, even though your wireless emergency alerts probably went off on your phone. The worst part of that storm is, as you can see, well to your west and moving to the north and east. So this is what we're looking at. Large hail with that storm. That thing is, potentially going to drop some baseballs in there. So definitely be careful if you're up that way. Let's come back down to our Macon County storm and Christian County storm. But we're going to have some cell mergers going on here before too long too. Illiopolis, that storm's on top of you. Niantic knocking on your doorstep, Harristown, all of those areas seeing a pretty decent storm there that probably has got a little bit of hail associated with it. We've not heard a ton of wind damage reports, but we definitely are getting those hail reports in here. One thing before we go over to Jacob, I'm gonna pull up our Decatur camera. That's going to be looking into that storm there off to the west. Not seeing a whole lot there just yet from our camera view, but Jacob is probably going to also have a view for us. So let's pop him up. And what are you seeing? Oh, I just saw a flash of lightning there, Jacob.
Yeah, hey, Kevin, I'm at the gas station, the McDonald's in Pilot, and that is where we're looking west now, filling up, getting a little fuel in here before we get the rest of the night ahead of us. And when we look at things here overall, I tell you what, it's you can just see the occasional flash from where we are, but you can hear the rumbling. I don't know if the microphone's picking up. It just sounds like a constant rumbling, like a low grumble off of the distance and whatnot. And so we're a little far away to get much structure. I can kind of see in the horizon in front of me as I'm putting my gas cap on, that lowering area, that's straight west of me. I don't think I'm going to go any closer towards it. I think what I may try and do is I got to watch the river there, down the Sangamon River there outside Oakley and Cerro Gordo and whatnot, and try and figure out how to get through there. Because I feel like if this continues on the eastward path, I would rather find myself towards Oakley, Cerro Gordo on the south side so I could follow into Piatt County, eventually southern Champaign County. But you're right also, we're about to have these two storms merge together right over Decatur. That's going to be a really interesting scenario to watch here to see if we can't, one, force some more rotation in with the merging, and two, get those updrafts to collide and get that hail threat up even more. There's going to be some large hail, I think, coming soon here in Decatur. Kevin, you thinking that's probably a good plan to try and get down towards Cerro Gordo, or do you want me to drive into hail? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I mean, so you're over there on the northeast. Yeah, it's true. You're over there on the northeast side of town right now. I mean, that storm down there is picked up. Actually, there's some nice wind pixels that are in there. Oh man, boy, that one up there also southwest of Maroa. But then I gotta look and see where the wind turbines are too now to. Because when you look at velocity, sometimes you can be fooled by some of the velocity signatures in there, but that's a huge complex there. That whole thing is just dropping heavy rainfall. And yeah, you know what? There's our camera view in Decatur. Oh man, that's a tough call. Oh, there's a little flash of lightning there. I'm 6 in one, half a dozen in the other there. So you think you want to kind of hang out there on that side of town? Is what you're thinking?
Say that one more time again, Kevin.
So you're wanting to kind of hang over there into eastern Macon County, you're saying?
Yeah, because what I've got is, the southeast part of Decatur there, like Long Creek up towards Cerro Gordo. The Sangamon River runs all the way up to Monticello. There's not a whole lot of crossings there. Once I get across that, then I've got a lot more time to play with things here. So that's kind of my thought. I'm driving south now, kind of towards Richland College and the Farm Progress Show site. To my right, nothing's standing out as an obvious lowering, but there certainly are some lower areas that are in there, kind of scuddy looking for terminology.
Yeah, so, I'm actually kind of
seeing. I'm actually kind of here, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing that. Actually, on our weather camera.
And I'm going to turn my camera as well so you can see that here. This is going to be due west of Decatur now, and I'll zoom in on it. Kind of that area that I'm watching is right in there for that lowering. It's not all that organized, but as we said earlier, these storms at 6 o'clock were nothing. By 7, we were having warnings out the front end with these types of things. So let me zoom in this particular spot that stands out to me here.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good view on our weather camera, actually. Yeah, right there. Yep. So you're seeing it from there. This is our view. So we're kind of looking at the same thing. Yours is, we got a little bit better contrast from ours, but yeah, I see what you're saying there. So you're looking straight west, right?
That's correct. Yes. I'm looking due west right now. It's kind of organized in a little bit more here. And so that's something that we're kind of watching. There's a lowering there. It's getting lower. It's getting lower. It is. All right. I'm going to probably just stay here because I can, brush. Ooh, wow, there's a lightning strike there. I saw. That's coming together pretty quickly here. I want to say I'm seeing some pretty good motion on that from my vantage point.
Yeah, and we are too. I can't tell, but boy, it's tough to see there on the bottom part of our screen here from our weather camera. I can't tell if there's anything there at the ground. We're trying to adjust the camera there a little bit, but this is definitely low to the ground, pretty low to the ground there. Looking to see if we were seeing any of that rotation at the surface, but I mean, you can see the right edge there. Again, this is looking west of Decatur. This is going to be probably over towards kind of the Harristown area, but definitely has got our piquing our attention here. Some decent motion on it, and we're looking right at it with our weather camera, and boy, just kind of looking to see if we see anything kind of kick up. Go ahead.
As that storm from tornado warning just came out for Macon County. Tornado warning, Macon County, Kevin.
Okay, tornado warning, Macon County. Can you run back there? Tell the folks we're gonna do TV here. Okay, guys, hang with us here. We're keeping an eye on things for you. Getting ready to go live on WCIA. Hang tight here with us, folks. We might have a developing tornado here. Weather Service issues a tornado warning. We've got Jacob that's out there right now. Tornado warning. Just tell me in my ear, guys, when we're going to be on WCIA. We're going to continue our coverage here. We're watching this storm here that is west of Decatur. New tornado warning just being issued. The area of concern is going to be Forsyth, Harristown, Warrensburg, anywhere along I-72 there. I'm going to let Seth, you control the camera there the whole time, and you kind of operate that as we'll be watching things. This is a view from Decatur right now. We're looking at it again. We've got a tornado warning in effect for parts of Macon County right now. Macon County tornado warning. Take shelter if you are in Harristown right now, in Forsyth, Warrensburg, under the tornado warning. Of course, the Maroa area that we're keeping an eye on.
Second circulation.
There is circulations that are starting to uptick a little bit more in this complex. And so we're watching this carefully. We've got our camera view here. All right, guys, stand by. All right, good evening to you. We are breaking into program. We have a tornado warning in effect for Macon County right now. We've been watching this developing storm, and it looks like potentially we've got some rapid development here on our weather camera that we are seeing just west of Decatur over towards the Harristown area, and we're seeing it right now. This is happening live. That's a live view from our camera, and some rotation. The storm is really kind of kicked up. If you are anywhere between Harristown, Warrensburg, the Forsyth area, you need to take shelter. If you're on kind of the northwest side of Decatur, you want to be carefully monitoring this, because this storm is going to hover right along I-72 at this point. And we're looking at it here, a lowering. There's some rotation that is occurring with this, and we can kind of see that. Look how low this area is, the lowering of that cloud base there. And we're looking for some funnels there. The Weather Service issuing this tornado warning for Macon County right now, and we are seeing some of the better indications of this. You can see some of the lightning strikes there as well. What I want to do is we're going to look at this. Guys, keep an eye on the camera there. Yell at me if you see something. And if we can, guys, if we can do a little double box here with the weather cameras and the radar, because we want to be able to show all of this at the same time. This storm here coming into the west side of town, here it is. You've got Harristown. You've got Decatur, okay, and this is coming into the northwest side of town where some of that rotation is near I-72. That area from Forsyth down to Decatur, along 51, along 72, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now. This is a pretty serious situation that we've got, and we want you to take heed of these warnings. This is the real deal here with this storm. Look how low the cloud base is. Okay, real low to the ground is what we're looking at here. And I tell you what, guys, if we can, let's take this full if we can. Let's take our camera here full, because we're looking at this here, seeing if we can spot any of that rotation that is on our storm. It is going to be coming right there along I-72, Harristown area, right over you. Going to be passing on the northwest side of Decatur. Low to the ground right now. I'm not seeing anything that is that's touched down there. We look for power flashes. We look for, any circulation, anything there at the bottom. And you're kind of looking at the view. This is the concern with this tornado warning that the Weather Service has just issued for Macon County. Let's see if we've got Jacob here. Jacob, do you have, he's in the storm tracker out there. Let's see what he's seeing from his view. Jacob, what do you got?
Yeah, hey, Kevin, we're by that pilot McDonald's on the 48 in the northeast side of Decatur, looking right at it. This is that area of rotation in front of us here. Some of the clouds there are moving from right to left, and then other clouds I see left to right. I'm particularly interested, I think you're seeing the same spot in this right here. And it's a little hard to make out for sure. It's a little hazy with some of that rain in the backside there, but this is that area that's rotating. There's also, to me, something sticking out down a little further south. It's hard for me to know. That southern part that we're looking at now seems to be more straight west of downtown. This here is going to be on the right side, now straight in front of me, going to be over the Harristown area, quickly coming in our direction. So kind of keeping an eye on things here. I have not seen anything down, but for a while there, we were watching right as that tornado warning is issued. It started to pick up in intensity. So we've got eyes in this storm here in Macon County. I also want to mention the hail with this, maybe not as big, but there has been big hail with storms earlier. I've been keeping my eye on a little area up by Maroa. It doesn't look as concerning at this point, but here in Macon County, the Forsyth, Oriana, Argenta area, very much a serious situation with this rotating storm coming on in. Kevin, to you. Okay,
here we go. We've got another view from our camera. There's our camera view here that's looking from Decatur, zoomed in on this. And this essentially is going to be kind of a wall cloud there. Lowering of that cloud base there that's close to the surface. We zoom out. I'm just going to zoom this out.
My video.
Okay. So we're zooming that thing out there, but that is the area that we're definitely watching, and we're just keeping an eye on it. This is going to be coming into the northwest side of Decatur, Harristown on top of you. If you're Forsyth, if you're between Forsyth and Decatur there on the north side of town, that's exactly where some of that rotation is. Really strong winds that just passed through Harristown, and that rotation there coming into the west side of town, and that's the view that we're getting.
Might end up being
tornado imminent.
Losing eyes on this at some point. It looks like the rain's starting to pick up, so we might only be limited here with our visibility here before too long.
Okay, let's come back over to Jacob's shot. Jacob is out there on this, and he is seeing. You got a little funnel there, possibly trying to form?
That's exactly what I'm looking at here, Kevin. I think we're going to move in the direction of a tornado developing here in front of us. Again, this is going to be in the northwest side of Decatur. It's going to be on 121 and 72 right now. 121 is where you go up to Warrensburg in that direction. That's about where it's at. We're over on 48 over in the Oriana exit, and the rotation is really picking up right here in the middle right now. What's happening is these two storms are merging together, and as that happens, you can sometimes force that rotation along, and that's what I think is happening right here. We're nudging that storm, which is to the left here, into this storm, and that's helping to spin this up a little bit more. Definitely had a funnel cloud, doesn't look to be there as much right now, but there is still some strong rotation showing up right now here just west of my location. We'll update you if anything changes. Kevin, back to you.
Okay, so here's view there. We're going to start to potentially lose the view that we get from our camera because of the rain that's now coming into Decatur, and so we're losing that same structure we had just a few moments ago. So we're not going to be able to see things as clear, because now you can see, look at that. You can see the gray, all of that color there. That's the heavy rainfall, potentially some of that hail in there. Now, if you're going to have something, you're going to have something probably rain wrapped. So definitely, listen, Decatur, you're about to get hit by some strong winds. You're going to see some really strong winds come across on this camera view in the next 30 seconds. You can already see it there across the tops of the buildings there, and our camera's probably going to start to shake pretty good. If you're in Decatur right now, that storm on the west side of town really picking up downtown, and again, there goes our view. Our limited visibility is going to be there as the storm is literally coming in. Pretty good pocket of winds within that. Probably some 60-mile-an-hour winds. So you've got the tornadic threat, but you've also got the threat for strong damaging winds and maybe even a little bit of hail in there. You can see the rain really coming down almost kind of sideways, and embedded within that, maybe some of those hailstones. Decatur area seeing a pretty good storm. I don't want to discount Forsyth. You guys are also seeing a pretty decent storm on top of you, Warrensburg. But where that rotation is, these cells have kind of merged together. If there is anything in there, it is going to be wrapped. You're going to have, if there's a tornado, it's going to be embedded. And just look at those sheets of rain that are now coming across in downtown Decatur. And now we're, again, unable to see our views as good. I'm just going to pan this down just a little bit, and you can kind of see them coming across. A potential tornado there. Still in play, Forsyth to the north and west side of Decatur. If you're in Oriana and Argenta, you need to be taking shelter right now. If you're in Oriana and Argenta, take shelter as the storm here really packing a punch coming into the downtown Decatur area right now. Let's give Jacob one last chance here as he's on that storm. Jacob, what do you got? You got a bail here soon.
Yeah, Kevin, this is getting close to us here, so we're going to bail on 72 and hope we don't get hail on the way to Argenta. You can see the rotation is right coming over us now. That southern storm on the left side of my screen is starting to push in, and that's what we've been seeing. It doesn't look as organized. The spot that I was most watching right there over the road in front of me, we're just west of that McDonald's and Pilot. I'll take a turn around now and kind of give you a glance as I make a U-turn. You can see the rest of that storm there. As we look now south towards Decatur, and then we're starting to turn back to the east to get out of here. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now, Kevin. I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, so reposition there, Jacob. We'll bring it back. Here's our view from Decatur now. In Decatur, you can see the sheets of rain, that really heavy rainfall that is coming across. You can see the trees that are waving around pretty good. Heart of this, right through the middle of Decatur. I mean, this thing is not missing any part of Decatur. The winds, the wind, the hail, the heavy rainfall, all really picking up. I will say that we've kind of lost the structure of we were able to kind of see, into that storm. We had that nice view, but now we can't see it because of the heavy rain that's going to be obstructing our view. So what we'll have to do is we'll eventually switch over back to our Champaign camera, look to the west as that storm kind of comes in and see if we can see anything. But boy, you can just see this here. I mean, look at that in Decatur right now, really strong winds. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some wind damage here, a few trees down, maybe some power outages. If you're in Macon County right now, that is a concern if you're in that area. Here's what I want to just make mention of this too, because I know we've got folks that are watching us in other locations. And if you look at our view there in Champaign right now, it looks a lot different. It looks nice and calm. You can see the sun that is trying to set here, but storms are off to your west Champaign. They're off to your west Monticello. They're going to be coming in your general direction. But right now, the biggest concern with the tornado warning in effect for Macon County in the northern and western sides of Decatur, you're up towards Forsyth now, Oriana, Argenta, you're in this warning. If you're down the line, Cisco, you're watching out for this. And even, Monticello, just kind of be on the lookout here. Cerro Gordo, Bement, we're watching you guys. So we're just kind of wanting you guys to stay weather aware with this. With another warning does get issued a little bit more to the east. So we've got Jacob repositioning things right now. Let's take you back over to the radar and show you again what our storm is looking like. And there it is. Right in Decatur, downtown area. We showed you the winds, but now Oriana and Argenta, you guys are getting the bulk of that storm. There's Cisco and Monticello off to the east, and we've got that. We've got another view there from Jacob that we can take. He's trying to give us some of the view there, a little lowering there, and that's kind of what we've been watching that whole time. We're looking at his camera view. He's kind of shooting. There we go. We've got your shot up there, Jacob. That's that little lowering there. It's right there on the right, kind of right half of the screen that you're seeing. And Looks like somebody just pulled up here and is in the shot. Okay,
There we go, yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, we see you now. Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, still some strong rotation with this here. It's a lot of more rising motion, and this is going to be now over Forsyth. And then kind of look at the storm here ahead of me. It looks like my camera got a little water on there, Kevin. Let me wipe that off. Still rotating, but moving in that direction. And I'm having a little trouble in focusing. Let me just give you back the regular camera here. That's the back camera, and we'll bring that one back up there. So this is looking now north of Forsyth going to the east. So I think it may be occluding. Sometimes when things occlude, it can twist out really fast. I don't see that at this point, but it definitely is still rotating right here. As we look now north over Forsyth, a lot of rain, not had any hail yet, but I'm about ready to head quickly to the east and be on my way towards Argenta. So we'll try and get ahead of this again, Kevin, and we'll keep an eye on this for you. Back to you in the studio, Kevin.
Okay, strong winds here. East side of Decatur, heading towards Oakley and Cerro Gordo now. So Oakley to Cerro Gordo, you guys are going to see the strong. Here's what I'll do is I'm going to switch over to our velocity signature here, and this is showing the strong wind. So anytime we get these kind of these pinks and purples in there, really strong winds. Those are going pretty much off here to the east. So this is what I mean about Oakley. We'll see what the Decatur Airport maybe measures with their weather station. But Oakley to Cerro Gordo, be watching out for those winds. The strongest pocket there between Orienta, Oakley, and Cerro Gordo is what I'm thinking. Is this area that you see right here? Okay, this is your strong 60-mile-an-hour winds. Here's Orienta, here's Oakley, here's Cerro Gordo. All of this, if we just put a loop on it, you're going to see the general movement of this is to the east. So heading right there to the east, and then eventually into western portions of Piatt County. Now, I'm seeing more winds in here than the tornadic threat at this moment, but the storm could ramp up there more than anything. Hail, strong winds, and the potential for at least 60-mile-an-hour winds with our storm now pushing into eastern parts of Macon County. And again, going to be riding right along into the Cerro Gordo area before too long and into Oakley. So those are the biggest concerns that we have with our storms that we have. The reason we're on the air with you, tornado warning does continue. We'll see what the Weather Service does as far as continuing any additional warning or not. The storm not looking as organized in terms of a tornadic circulation as it did about 15 minutes ago, but it's still organized in terms of its intensity with the winds that we've got. Top part of your screen on the right is going to be Jacob and the storm tracker. Bottom right there is one of our camera views from Champaign that we're looking off to the west as this storm is going to be heading in our direction. And of course, we're showing you the radar view that we've got right now with the storm in Orienta, where the tornado warning is still in effect. If you're in Cisco, if you're in Monticello, just kind of be paying attention. Cerro Gordo, Bement, paying attention as this storm is still maintaining some of its strength here. A new warning just coming out here with this storm, a severe thunderstorm warning, I will say. So this now includes Monticello, Bement, and Cerro Gordo, as we anticipated would be the case, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning, okay? But it is one that still has that, tornado possible with it, so we have to watch out for that, because these things can ramp up really quick. We've got a lot of people tuning in here online or social media platforms. I will tell you this, if and when we go back to regular programming, if we do that, we'll still be streaming on all of the Facebook pages, our weather app, our news app. You can find us in a multitude of locations, WCIA.com. So just kind of throwing that out there for you. You can find us in other locations here. But for right now, policy is with the tornado warning, and we're on the air here telling you about the areas of concern, and that's Argenta, Orienta. Right now, they've not continued the tornado warning off to the east just yet. So we've got these different polygons, and if you can kind of look at them, what I'll do here real quick is just I'll take off the radar itself, and I'll just show you what it looks like with just the warnings on the screen. And so you've got these different polygons. You've got tornado warning in the red, and you've got the orange color, which is your severe thunderstorm warning. So they try to get right into the area of highest concern when they have the tornado warnings. That's why it's a much smaller box, because there's going to be a smaller area where a tornado could be. It's going to be a much larger area where winds and hail could have an impact. But right now, the biggest threat, I think, is going to be into the eastern portions of Macon County, and then heading into the western portions of Piatt County here. If you're in Oakley, Cerro Gordo, Cisco, storm bearing down on you right now with those strong winds. And we see those winds when we switch over here. Anytime you get some of these, purples and pinks, you've got that. Jacob is within some of that wind that he's driving there back on I-72. And he is in that wind area between Oriena and Argenta. He's right in the middle of it. And you can see it. If we pull up his shot, I'll just pull up it. He doesn't have to talk. I want to let him focus on driving there, but he is going there, just passing, what is that, exit 150 that's over there on 72. And so the Argenta exit, he just passed through right there. And so this corridor of winds that stretches from Cisco back through Argenta, Oriena is where we've got the worst of the storm at this point. If you're in Monticello, this thing's probably coming in your direction. So if you are in Monticello, be paying attention over that way with the storm, as it is going to be coming in here it's probably actually already raining there, but the strongest part of the storm is going to be hitting you in the next 15 minutes or so. We'll see if the Weather Service continues the tornado warning off to the east or not, and we'll keep you updated on that. Seth, you got anything over there?
Yeah, I just wanted to note that warning, the tornado warning is set to expire at 8 p.m., so that's kind of our decision timeline there is around 8 p.m. If that warning doesn't get continued, chances are they'll probably just keep that severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag if that is allowed to expire at 8 o'clock. So it's kind of just watching still the next 5 or 6 minutes here to see what that final decision is probably going to be.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, we've got about 5.5 minutes left of our warning here as eastern portions of Macon County under that tornado warning. We'll switch you back over to our regular reflectivity mode that shows us the heavy rainfall. I mean, if there even was something in there, you would have that tornado embedded with the heavy rainfall. It'd be impossible to see anything. We had a good view of it earlier, but now a little tougher to see, obviously, with all of the rain becoming more of a high precipitation kind of supercell now, and it kind of obscures the view.
It looks like they did continue it.
Okay,
or
so
maybe a second one even. I'm not.
Okay, yeah, so it is, looks like they have continued it and turned it a little bit more to the south and east now. And that's going to be more over the Oakley area in Cerro Gordo, okay? So let's kind of show you this. Again, here's what I do. I'm going to shut off the radar here just so you can see the counties here that are under the warning. Jacob, if you want to, oh, man, it'll be tough for you. Yeah. So, Jacob, you may have to kind of cut over there more to the east and then eventually kind of come back. So I just want to show you the new counties under a warning here. And so you've got now Oakley to Cerro Gordo to Bement. Monticello, technically, you're just kind of north of the warning. But anywhere there in the southern portion of Piatt County, tornado warning is in effect. So I kind of want to show you the towns that we've got there, okay? Let's see if we can try to see some of this in terms of the rotation on radar. And so, yeah, we're still kind of seeing some stuff that's in there. Going to be there near Oakley and near Cerro Gordo. If you are in that location, your tornado sirens are most likely going off at this time. Argenta, the Cisco area, really strong winds, but the rotating part of this storm is probably going to be there between Oakley and Cerro Gordo in this general area right through here. Okay, this is going to be where that rotation would be, where a potential tornado is trying to form. So be in your tornado safe spot if you are in that area. I'm just going to read up on this new tornado warning from the Weather Service. So it's located near Oriena, or 7 miles northeast of Decatur, moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour. Is where that tornadic circulation is. And this is the area of concern along I-72 between mile markers 148 and 150, kind of where Jacob was just located not too long ago. But the rotation on this storm still showing up there and they've continued the tornado warning. So I will say this to our folks that so Jacob's about 20 minutes from Beement, and so he's going to try to get back ahead of the storm and see the view of it as it is going to be coming into kind of the Beement area. And listen, just down the line, if you're watching in Champaign County, you want to be kind of watching out for things, maybe southern Champaign County with this as well. There's Ivesdale. You can see it on the far right portion of your screen. Maybe a little bit of an uptick in this trying to form in terms of the rotation between Oakley, Cerro Gordo now. If we start to see a little bit more of a clearing in there, we're going to watch out for, see if there's a little bit of a notch trying to form. Right now, the rotation on this is going to be crossing over 32. As you come there, north of Cerro Gordo. And that storm there is looking pretty good. 105 as well. If you are in that area, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. Jacob, I would not drop south from Cisco. I think you'll miss it. I would keep going up to the east there because that's going to be past. It's going to be past there. So I would keep going to the east, and I know it's going to be tough to do to try to cut through Monticello. I just don't think that you're going to be able to get ahead of that unless you keep going to the east. It's moving about 45 miles an hour, and so he continues there along I-72. All right, folks, the reason that we are on the air here with you, tornado warning in effect now for Piatt County. This includes areas just south of Monticello. Technically, Monticello, you're not in the tornado warning. You're in the severe thunderstorm warning, and this is a really intense cell that is bringing with it damaging winds and large hail. And so the area that we're watching here is south of Monticello. It is Beement. It is Cerro Gordo, where some of the rotation with this is located, and going to be close to maybe the Mill Mine area. If you are in southern Piatt County, tornado safe spot, lowest level of your home, and the safest part of your house that you can get in there in a closet sometimes, middle part of your home, lowest level. Those are all kind of the key things in terms of being able to stay safe with this. Here's what I'm going to do, folks. We're coming up right here on the 8 o'clock hour. It is now officially 8 p.m. I know folks are getting ready to, or they were hoping, some folks, to tune in and watch the amazing race. Unfortunately, we're not able to bring that to you right now as we have severe weather coverage. We have to tell the folks down here about this tornadic threat. I want to just issue this to those of you that are trying to get ready to tune in for that show. We have asked for some special permission from the folks that are way above me, all the way up to CBS, to re-air, get permission to re-air some of these shows like The Amazing Race if we have to cover it up here, which we're doing right now. I can't tell you exactly when that's going to be, but we've made those proactive efforts to do that. I just want to throw that out there to you. We will make attempts to re-air The Amazing Race at a later time, possibly sometime tomorrow. We'll inform you of when that's going to be. But right now, my utmost concern is with the tornadic threat for our folks that live down here into Piatt County. So we have to inform them of this tornado warning here. We've had multiple reports of some funnel clouds with this, and we were seeing a pretty good view of it from our camera indicator as we're looking off to the west. Now this storm is moving into Piatt County. So our friends in Beement, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now. You're right kind of center line with this storm as it moves off there to the east. There might be some hail in the Cisco area. Monticello, you may have some hail that's going to be picking up here before too long, and you're really getting some of that heavier rain. This thing is starting to cycle a little bit. I'm getting a little bit more structure on this, kind of on the southwest corner, okay? And so now east of Cerro Gordo, that's where I'm seeing maybe some of that rotation that's trying to pick up a little bit more in that area. The Cisco, Cerro Gordo area, you definitely are getting some really strong winds with this, and we can see that when we switch over to our velocity. The colors that you see here, the bright kind of pinks. So even south of Cerro Gordo, it's going to be along Highway 105. So 105 and 32, looking pretty good there, Cerro Gordo. Then your winds there kind of south of Cisco, The brighter the colors you have of those pinks there, those are your stronger winds. Those are going to be coming into Monticello here before too long, possibly, especially maybe south of Monticello. So we want to be looking out for that. Rotation with this, though, is probably a little bit to the south, closer to the Cerro Gordo area, the Mill Mine area, west of B Mint is what we're looking at with some of that rotation on our storm here. Seth, you've been monitoring some of this here with us as well. What are you seeing over there from your vantage point?
Yeah, just wanted to extend the warning out here just a little bit to get some of the folks included there that might be in the path of that. So we've got a timeline here written down, just detected from the radar with the motion east at 45 miles an hour. A place like Beeman, so within the next 6 minutes is when it's going to be out that direction. And eventually as it crosses over here into Champaign County, that's going to be in about 12 or 13 minutes here. You're looking at the Ivesdale area at around 8:16 p.m. So any of those places, they're highlighted in that little box. We've got the storm motion here on this one tracked out here for the next about a half hour or so. So if you see your town listed, you've got no more than 25 or 30 minutes here to prepare for this one as it starts to march off that direction. So we'll continue to keep an eye out and warn some more places that are in line for that warning as it gets a little closer, Kevin.
Yeah, so that eventually could come into, western Champaign County. There's Ivesdale on the far right part of your screen. Just want to give you guys kind of that heads up. Ivesdale, Sedoras, Tolono, Pasodum. That's the area of, where that rotation could eventually go if things do continue on the same path. Here is the wider view of this, because I want folks to kind of see this. Listen, I get it. You're in Danville, you're in Mattoon, you're in Charleston, you're in Paris. Have anything going on. Shelbyville, nothing going on. The storms here closer to St. Louis, those are not severe. We're concerned about one area really right now, and it's the complex that's right here, center cut, Piatt County now, and heading towards Bement. And I got to tell you, it's looking a little bit more ominous in terms of potentially maybe some of the rotation, trying to kick up just a little bit more there west of Bement. Okay, so I want us to continue to watch this area. There's trying to get a little clearing here, and right here is where potentially you might get a little bit of that rotation to pick up. If you look at this little dry slot here, little notch that we kind of look at, little clearing. Okay, in this area right here is where some of that rotation would be located. So if you're anywhere between Bement and the Voorhees area, this is a definite area of concern that we've got with that storm. It is racing off there to the east, and it's moving at a pretty good clip. It is moving at, let's see here, 45 miles an hour, I believe, at the last, or 50 miles an hour now, moving at 50 miles an hour. So it's tough to kind of pick this up. Here is the storm again. That is going to be crossing over 105. Near Bement, this thing's going to be on top of you in the next minute or so. Be in your tornado safe spot. You're getting some pretty decent winds on this, as I mentioned, near Monticello, and that's what we're looking at here with this area that you're seeing. So we've got Jacob that's in Monticello. Maybe we can pull his shot up there because he's in. I know I can see his view. If we can pull him up here just real quick. It's dark. You can't see it. We'll take him full, and I'll talk over it. I want to let him focus on his driving, but there's a signal there dropping out because of how heavy the rain is. You can see some of the lightning strikes there. So he's kind of coming around there into Monticello and giving us those views of the storm. So really heavy rain. And again, those winds. And you can see just how dark it is there. Obviously, it wouldn't be completely dark here just yet. So we're losing his signal there a little bit. So we'll come back over here and give you the radar view as he's going to be going into some areas there that have a little less of that coverage. Right now, that heavy wind, strong winds there from Monticello down to Bement and eastern portions of Piatt County need to be on the lookout here. Western portions of Champaign County, here's the thing, this thing's going to be on top of you here before too long. Weather Service is going to make a determination of whether they continue a severe thunderstorm warning or potentially a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning more off to the east. We'll see what they do. But for those of you that are watching in southwestern Champaign County, this is the area that we are keeping a close eye on right now for that potential rotation, potential tornado. We have had reports of golf ball size hail. I'll show you this. This was a little bit earlier over into Logan County. So golf balls, have we had higher than golf balls, Seth? I think
nothing official.
Nothing officially. So about 1.75 inch in diameter golf ball size hail that these storms have had. The history of producing some gusty winds, and obviously those funnel cloud reports that we had earlier with this same storm that we're watching that is now moving into the Bement area, and eventually down the line, places like Ivesdale. We're going to be watching out for your area here before too long. Here's the thing. This storm is kind of getting a little bit more on its own. Sometimes that can actually help enhance it if it's not in that big long line and a big squall line of storms. When it's a little bit more isolated, it can tap into more of the ingredients that can get this thing to spin a little bit. And so right now, I don't have something like imminent, but between Monticello and Bement right now, the winds are probably 60 miles an hour right here. Because when I switch over to the velocity, you can see how strong those winds are. We're going to try to go to Jacob. His signal's been really iffy in the last few minutes, but we'll try to go to him right now. Jacob, what do you got?
Yeah, you're talking about that wind, Kevin. We're now moving Monticello. You don't like that? And then the backside that usually towards Ivesdale.
Yeah, it looks like, again, dropping his signal there again. Guys, we'll try to go back to him again. In just a moment. As you can see, boy, tough to get a signal out there when the storms are doing that. But those are some really strong winds. I bet the Weather Service is going to continue a warning.
It's looking that way. I just had the velocity popped up and actually dropped in the max velocity factor. It's got 70 mile an hour gusts in there is what I'm getting from that end of things. Of course, that's a little higher up, but obviously very intense winds, even in the non-tornadic part, or the part that's not displaying the rotation, just between Bement and Monticello, up to 70 mile an hour gusts being picked up.
Yeah, so you've got wind, the wind component here, okay? That's right here between Monticello and Bement. That's 70 mile an hour winds. Then you get down here close to Bement, and right there is where maybe some of that rotation would be. So you've got two things we're looking at. The strong winds, where you're going to have straight line winds, damaging winds, trees, power lines. And then you get down here and you might have a circulation, okay, that is trying to form. And if it is, it's over Bement as we speak. I'll just be frank with you. It's over Bement right now where that circulation would be. Strong winds to the north. Ivesdale, you only got a few minutes before this thing's going to be kind of on top of you. So I just want to give you guys an extra heads up. Western Champaign County, and the county line is right here, okay? Here are your strong winds, and this updated radar scan is going to put it right on the county line here before too long. We'll see if the Weather Service can. There's the updated scan there, so it's almost right there now. So basically, south of Washington Street on the southeast side of Monticello, 1600 North Road is what that turns into as you go off to the east. These are your really strong winds. Here's Ivesdale. You can see over there. There's Sedoris, and then down the line, there's Willard Airport and Tolono. But that right there, your strong winds. And then right down in here is where maybe some rotation is. And that's probably going to be now just east of Bement, as where some of that could be located right now. Be paying attention if you're in Ivesdale, just in case a warning does get issued right now. The Weather Service has not continued the severe thunderstorm warning or the tornado warning just yet. I'm going to see if I can't pull up some other weather cameras here. Is that so we're trying to get a view here of the storm from Champaign now to see what it's doing. Let's kick that on and show you what it looks like from our camera here. There's one of our cameras. I'm going to switch over to our stadium camera here off in the distance. And we're getting some of that lightning showing up. So this is going to be the storm down there towards Ivesdale. And you can kind of see the darkening there of the clouds, middle part of your screen, some of the lightning there. These have been highly electrically charged storms, bringing a lot of really intense lightning with them. And you're seeing this storm. So this is what we're watching, and this is going to be hitting the southwestern portions of Champaign County in the next few minutes. Now, does this strongest part come into Champaign? It looks like the strongest winds are going to be maybe closer to, again, Sedoras, maybe Tolono, Savoy. You can see the lightning there on your screen from our camera in Champaign. We're going to see what the Weather Service does on this next update to see if they carry this severe thunderstorm warning off to the east and see if they drop the tornado warning or not. But starting to pick up on the thunder here at the station. As you probably saw the lightning strike that was on your screen there. Boy, if there's anything, there's definitely going to be a lot of lightning showing up with this. And that wind signature is still looking pretty decent. And that's going to come crossing right all along the Champaign and Piatt County line in the next few minutes. So we'll keep watching the view there from our camera. I'm going to switch you back to the radar view here once again because I want to show you exactly where our storm is. Yeah, I know there's a large area where we don't have any severe weather going on, but now we're talking about possibly western Champaign County with this storm. Let's zoom in here. You see this little curved area right here? This is what I'm talking about, where it kind of clears out a little bit. And that's where you still might have some of the rotation on the storm. So yes, I know you're not under a warning yet, Ivesdale, but just kind of be paying attention here. But then up here, just to the north is where the real strong winds are. We have to look at the velocity to see that. That right there, that's a pocket of 60, easily 60 mile an hour winds, you know, maybe even higher. And so that's going to come in there just west of Sedoras and close to, you know, maybe eventually kind of Willard Airport area. So there's a strong pocket of winds that we're seeing with this. And I'm kind of surprised we don't have an additional warning here just yet for Champaign County. I think they've not heard about any, you know, reports here in the last few minutes with this. It's also kind of been moving through a rural area, so probably wouldn't hear about a ton of them, but we'll see if they continue this severe thunderstorm warning or not. So far, they have not carried that off to the east just yet, but we're watching it for you. We're getting a pretty good view of the storm again coming into Champaign now on the at least on the southwest side of town. We're getting that decent view with the darkening there of the clouds in the middle part of your screen and the lightning there flashing, even starting to get just a few of the sprinkles and showers that are beginning here in Champaign. But we'll see if that warning carries off to the east or not. From what I'm seeing, I mean, there's still some decent winds in this. I mean, I will say, according to radar, I don't know that I'm seeing as much in the way of rotation on here, but definitely still seeing some decent winds with our storm that could be coming into the southwest part of Champaign County. Jacob is in that general area. We'll try to go to him, but I know his signal continues to kind of, if you've ever been down in that area, it's, you know, some rural areas down there that is in between, you know, Ivesdale, north of Ivesdale and Sedoras. And that's kind of his general location right along the Piatt and Champaign County line. But right now, what we're going to try to do is, you know, pick out anything that we see with our view from our weather camera here in Champaign as we look to the southwest, see if there's anything that is notable or not. But that storm now, if there is rotation, it would be located near Ivesdale, but the strongest winds are going to be just north of Ivesdale, and that's going to pass there north of Sedoras and eventually maybe towards the Tolono and Savoy areas. So you're getting some of the rain in Champaign now, but the heaviest stuff is still just a little bit off to the west. Weather Service mentioning anything?
No, not yet. And that's why it's a little surprising, because that little area of interest is about to escape the box. So
it is.
Have to guess at some point there's something coming very soon, but there's no mention of it here just yet.
Okay, so the area where we have the tornado warning has not continued here. Okay, the tornado warning that would be for Champaign County has not been continued just yet. And from what we're seeing here, I think also based upon not having any further reports, it may not extend that off to the east, okay? So here's what I'm going to tell you here in just a moment, and we're going to give this a second just to see it, you know, because I'd hate to go off the air, then have to cut back in again. we'll do it if we have to, but I just want to give it another minute or two to wait for this storm to completely kind of exit in terms of where some of the rotation could be located. Just not seeing as much there. I'm seeing more of a wind component to this. So straight line winds there from Ivesdale to Sedoras, down the line, Willard Airport to Tolono, where you may have some of those stronger winds. The storm may be trying to collapse a little bit right now. And if that's the case, then you would see maybe a weakening trend. But listen, that's really the only guy in town, so to speak, for lack of better words. That's the only storm that we're watching. The other ones are not severe down into Macoupin County. The only one we've got right on the Piatt and Champaign County line right now, south of Seymour and Ivesdale, they're seeing a pretty strong storm. Listen, don't get me wrong, a really strong storm there. Maybe some hail associated with that storm, maybe coming into the Ivesdale area. But if you're watching from Savoy to Tolono, this storm is heading in your direction. Let's show you the loop of it here as it moves pretty much kind of due east, maybe a slight uptick to the north and east. So Champaign, you're going to have this coming into the south side of town here. All right, what did we just get?
There's nothing yet on the tornado warning, but they've trimmed back the tornado watch box for a lot of places kind of up and down I-55. So places like Springfield, Lincoln, Bloomington earlier that had the tornado watch, they are now watch free on that latest update.
Okay, so there you go. You can kind of see it there on your screen until 10 o'clock, the tornado watch in effect. So there's really not a lot of time left with this. And hopefully this one storm can kind of get through and not do anything too significant, because really is kind of the only thing we're watching is this line that's coming through right now. So hopefully this can pass through and we can end our coverage here if our storm does not continue to stay strong heading into Champaign County, if it doesn't re-strengthen a little bit either. That is kind of the concern right now. So if you're over towards Springfield and Lincoln, you're in the clear. Clinton, you're in the clear. Bloomington, Normal, Jacksonville areas, you are in the clear right now. Literally the only area that I'm watching carefully and will be watching carefully over the next few hours is going to be Champaign County now. Southern portions of Champaign County, maybe along the Douglas County line. Eventually, if this could go more east into, if it holds together, you're talking, southern Vermilion County here. But this is it. This is the one lone cell that we've got. So here's what we're going to do, because they haven't dropped the warning officially yet, but I can just tell you from just looking at this, it does not look as intense as it once did in terms of the tornadic threat. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to transition back to our streaming. That is on all of our Facebook pages, WCIA3 News Facebook page, all of the meteorologists' Facebook pages. You can go on there. You can find us on the news and weather apps, streaming at WCIA.com. So that's what we're going to do. So a heads up to our production crew that's back there. We're going to toss things back over to the Amazing Race again. For those of you that were trying to tune into the coverage, we've made some efforts and asked for some permission to potentially play back the Amazing Race at a later time. I don't have the details on that right now, but when we do get those, you can find them at WCA.com. There'll be a crawl across your screen. We'll post about it. We'll tell you about it. But obviously we had to come in here and tell the folks about the tornado threat that came through Macon and Piatt County. So be listening for that if you are needing to watch those shows here potentially tomorrow, and we'll let you know about that. But again, go to our Facebook pages, go on to our streaming sites, and we're going to continue our live coverage there as the storm comes into southern Champaign County now. If you're in Savoy, Tolono, Pasota, you're watching the storm southern Champaign County, as we'll be keeping a close eye on it, and then continue our coverage on those platforms. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap things up here on the TV side of things, and we'll send you back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Okay, we should be good back
Okay.
on stream.
All right, I believe we're just back on the streaming now with you folks.
The good thing is, Kevin, they got rid of the severe thunderstorm warning, and the tornado warning is now just a special weather statement.
Gotcha. Okay, so it looks like they've dropped all of the various warnings here. We have dropped the tornado and severe thunderstorm warning. This is just now basically a really strong storm is one way to put it. That may have a little bit of hail in there. but the storms are kind of collapsing. We're not seeing as much in the way of kind of widespread coverage here. I mean, that's the only storm that we've got. I mean, even these ones that are down here, I'm not doing a whole lot. I just want to show you this, though, because up in the Chicago area, they got hit pretty good with some storms up that way. And there were a lot of warnings earlier up into Wisconsin and whatnot. We actually have one of the few warnings that are left right now. Our storm that is coming in here into southwestern Champaign County, still packing a punch, but looks like it has gone just below the severe limits. And so while we're going to stay up here with you, I just want to show you the lightning on these storms, because there are still a ton of lightning strikes on this. You see all the lightning there stretches from Champaign between Ivesdale and Sedoris. Still lightning strikes down there towards the Bement area. But as far as those stronger winds, we see the cell kind of collapsing a little bit there. Listen, there's still some 50 mile an hour winds in there, probably near Sedoris. And towards Tolono there. Boy, I don't know what it is about tonight and Jacob's signal. He was kind of down there in that rural area. That's kind of tough, but he's kind of been going in and out or not. We've been wanting to check in with him because he's down there. What is left of that storm between Ivesdale and Sedoris. Okay, he's been steady for about 10 seconds there. Maybe we go over to him. Hey, there he is. Jacob, what's your position there? I'll let you talk for a second. Your signal's been rough, man. You've been in the storms pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that. Sangamon River, low spots, and then that. I've got Pasodum in my coordinates to head for us momentarily. I think I'll get myself a pork sandwich. Good news on that track. See, now it's getting dark and whatnot. Earlier, there's quite some good, solid wind here in Monticello, and then even when I here, but you're right, it's still there. It's kind of coming down a little bit, and one of two things that's happening. Either the storms knocked together and kind of disrupted each other that we were watching here, there's that storm in the backside, or maybe the cap is a little to the east, as robust as they get you to move the. You never know which one's the case, but we're seeing that effect of what would be a scenario. I think still some rain. I'm trying to not be on those spots, but navigate the rural roads of Central Illinois to get the position, Kevin. Of course, now lights have been on everywhere we've seen. They're on here in town now. So, Kevin, we back to you.
Great. We're trying to get a signal there. Boy, it's been rough there down in that area. I just want to say this. We've got a lot of people that are tuned in here. We have Weather Call. It's actually one of the cool services that we offer here. If you scan this QR code, it's right there. Scan it right there. It takes you where you can sign up for it. So you literally can get a phone call from me. Like, you get a phone call. It will warn you when there are tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. I don't know. Maybe that's not as, it's a little bit more traditional, but some people like traditional, like getting a phone call instead of getting a text. Or maybe some people don't have a weather radio, or some people aren't, near outdoor warning sirens, which are only meant for outdoors. But you can sign up for this service, and I call you on your phone if there is a warning. And it can be to your landline phone. I know some people are saying, what is a landline phone? Some people still have them. Or it can be to your cell phone. You can get a text, you can get an email for a very, 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 very small fee there. You can sign up for that for the whole year, and it's a really good service, and we like to encourage people to check that out because it's rare. Not a lot of places offer that. You get the typical, get warning on the app. But if it's 2:00 in the morning, are you going to wake up with a ding on your app? Maybe not. You may have a better chance of waking up when you've got, a phone call coming in. It's ringing, So that's just one of the things we like to offer and kind of tell people about is you can scan the QR code there. Or go to WCIA.com. I know if you're watching on your phone, you're like, I can't scan it. It's on my phone. Go to WCIA.com and go under the weather section. You'll see something called Weather Call, and you can sign up for that there. The other thing is You can also scan this QR code, and that takes you to our weather app. It's also where we do the live streaming coverage. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can see us on there. You can see us on X. You can see us on, the apps as well, though. And so you can always stream there on the app, on the news and weather apps there. So if you haven't downloaded that, it's also got all of our other awesome weather information that we deliver all the time. So I just want to encourage you guys to check that out. Okay, here we go. Let's show you what's going on here with our storm. It's now passing through Sedora, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of hail, maybe some small pea-sized hail that could have came through over there. Right now, our storm has still got some decent winds with it. I got to tell you, between Sedora and Tolono, I still think those are some fairly strong winds. If you look at it on the velocity there, right there. Right on 57 too, between Sedora and Tolono. That's pretty decent. All right. Jacob is winding around. I'm going to try to give him another shot here in a second. And because I've had his shot there. Jacob, if you are with us, it seems like every time I click on your signal, you disappear, you cut out. So let's give this a shot. Where are you at?
I don't know. No, I'm kidding. I know where I'm at. I am going to be crossing I-57 just north of Fesodum. Give you a reference point here. I'm about 2-3 miles northwest of the rest areas by Fesodum there. And I'll cross about a mile north of them on the bridge there, north of town. So we're going to cut kind of this way. And, the lightning in the last 5 minutes really has come down quite a bit. I've got the night vision on to give it a view and see if there's anything that pops from there. But, to me, I'm not seeing as many cloud to ground strikes. Every once in a while, I catch a flash up high and back in the rain. We're honestly about where, we're about where that rotation would have been if this storm kept going right now. We finally would be under where it is. But again, it's not really looking all that impressive right now. So about a mile here from I-57. Looks like there's some loose gravel on this road. And I can see the lights from the rest stops here off to my right and some of that lightning. Looks like... Are we trying to get a little more hail and wind coming into Tolono, Kevin, you think? Should I sneak back north and see what's going on over there? And that's going to be right about, Kevin, where about where that shed blew over in that tornado back in March. That same area is getting that same hail core there now.
Right, that area there is just coming into Tolono. There might be some nickel-sized hail maybe down that way. But we're showing you the view from our camera here, Neal Street camera that's here at the station. Was there any?
Did not see any hail. I think the rain's coming straight to the garage door. I opened up the back door and immediately got soaked in less than a second. So
gotcha.
Might just be the rain angles making the noise there.
So here's this. If you're in Tolono and you're watching us on the stream here, give us a little report, because according to radar, you probably have some, at least some pea-sized hail probably coming in. Let's see here. Hail, let's see here. Hail in Sedoris, maybe? Again, I'm looking at your guys' chat, so if you guys are watching us on the stream on Facebook or something, I'm actually able to see your guys' chat messages. So if you're in Tolono, I'll be curious to see what you're getting over there. It's pouring in loud in Tolono, is what I'm reading. Loud thunder in Tolono. Small hail in Tolono, super strong winds, 55 to 60. Listen, I'm not ruling that out. I think there are some decent winds right there in Tolono. If you look at the radar, there's a few pixels in there that are decent. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me bring this over. Look at this. Right over Tolono, too. Look at that. If you query that and you ask it, hey, radar, I would love for you to tell me what kind of winds are within that storm there. And I click on that little pixel, and it's going to say 69 mile an hour winds. Now, again, that's going to be, quite a bit off the surface there, but 55. You know, some of that doesn't always get translated all the way down to the surface there, but those are some strong winds there, I think, on the south side. So again, Willard hit 58. Wow, I'm surprised there's not a severe thunderstorm warning on this cell. What is going on? Okay, well, this is why we're going to stay with you here, because I think those, the winds that are down there are pretty decent. Coming in there between Savoy and Tolono. So Willard Airport just got a 58-mile-an-hour gust down there at the airport. 58 is the criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning. Now those stronger winds are going to be heading towards Philo, okay? Maybe eventually towards the Sydney area. So between Tolono and Philo. Be curious if any of our folks down there got anything in terms of any damage or any trees or power outages or anything. Tolono, let's see here, is getting hit really bad. Yeah, there's not a warning out there. Somebody said that they might have lost power in Urbana. Hail in Tolono. Those of you that are in the chat, let us know what your hail size is. If you've got, I'm seeing some hail reports there. Let us know what the hail size is in Tolono. Just says small hail so far. All right, yeah, blowing in Philo now. The winds are probably picking up the leading edge of that now coming into Philo. Winds are in Philo, no rain just yet. Yep, so that rain's going to be just a few minutes away. But the winds are definitely picking up. I think the lightning's picking up as well. Some decent lightning strikes there. Urbana power back on, says Christian. Small pea-sized hail in Tolono. I think this now is lifting just, at least the hail core. Maybe the hail core might come a little bit more into Philo. Some of the winds there stronger just south of Philo. And just give you the wide view because I want to show folks again. It's not much. This is one storm. It's the only storm that we've got here right now. We'll watch this other guy that's down there along the Montgomery, Fayette, Shelby County line. But the only cell we've got smack dab in the middle or in the southern half of Champaign County. And going to be heading there along 130 between Myra and Philo. East of Tolono is where the worst of it is. That's some very brief hail. So that hail core now situated there, maybe southeast Urbana, Windsor, maybe Windsor, Curtis, Old Church Road, anywhere we've got this kind of purple color. So if you look close, so this is Windsor, Curtis, Old Church. Here's 130. And so you can see this purple color that's all in here, sometimes indicative of at least, well, obviously very heavy rainfall, but also can be some hail embedded in there. Now, we haven't heard any reports of anything, too large, but definitely seeing that storm enhance itself just a little bit. There's Jacob's shot. Jacob is he going towards Philo? There he is. Okay, so he just turned off there. All right, so he might run into that hail core here for too long. So lights are on.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
They just extended all the way even into the Indiana-Illinois line.
Okay.
So it's one's for a while.
Look at that warning. That is huge. All right, so it's like Jacob's going to core punch this thing through Philo and get ahead of it and follow this thing, well, as far as he wants to. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Champaign and Southern Vermilion County. Good luck, Jacob. Careful out there on country roads. He's going to try to get through that thing there. Seeing the lightning pick up. Again, that hail core right on 130, probably now. I'm not seeing rotation necessarily with this, but we're seeing the winds. Again, a 58-mile-an-hour wind gust that came through Savoy, or technically Willard Airport. So south side there of Savoy when it came through. And to be honest with you, I don't even think the core of those winds, went through there. The stronger winds were actually, just to the south of that. So not surprising, but I think the winds that are coming into Philo are going to be stronger. Philo folks, what are you seeing over there? Philo folks, what do you got? Because that storm has got probably some hail, but also those strong winds right into Philo as we speak. If we look at the velocity there, and just south and east of town, some of the stronger winds, but Philo to Sydney will be watching you. Might pass kind of just south there of town. Almost constant flashes of lightning there we're watching with Jacob's signal. Hail core is on 130 between Myra and Philo on 130.
Kevin, I think it might help if you pop up the power outage map. You'll see some pretty impressive numbers in Macon and DeWitt, a combined 8,000 outages at least just in those two counties.
All right, so let's do that. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. All right, let's do some power outage stuff here while we let Jacob catch up to that storm. All right, here's a look at the outage map. Look at Macon, 6,100 customers without power. Then how about up here in DeWitt County? A quarter of DeWitt County does not have power. So let's just kind of look at some of these. It's going to be Corn Belt. So mainly Corn Belt. Or actually, I'm sorry, take that back. It'll be mainly Ameren, so 1,407, and then 662 with Corn Belt that are without power. So that is into DeWitt County. And then in Macon County, out of the customers there, most of those are all going to be Ameren. 5,783 customers out. Corn Belt, 317 customers without power. So yeah, that's pretty decent there. So that's what the storm that was the strongest storm that came through. Some parts of Macon and DeWitt County. So now you're talking about 8,200 or so. So 8,200 customers or so without power down there.
Even some damage to report, too, around Cerro Gordo. Large tree and wires down across the road. That was at about 7:57 when that strong core of winds passed through there. So have some tree damage, and I believe there's another power line that was snapped somewhere just outside of town. Just looking at some of the damage reports that have rolled in.
Philo, pea-sized hail, we're being told. Those strongest winds are now just east of Philo and probably just south of Sydney. Switch to the velocity. Here's your core of the strongest winds right here. So your strongest winds are just south of Sydney. That's going to be there along County Road 2100 and County Road 600. If you know anybody in that area, those are where the strongest of the winds are located. Tornado watch no longer in effect for Macon and Christian County. So Macon and Christian County, you have been dropped from the tornado watch. If you're watching us over here, south of Homer, if you're watching us over in Fairmount, Jamaica, that general area, yeah, we'll even throw in Catlin, Westville, and Georgetown down the line. That's the storm eventually is heading for you. But you're looking at the area of the strongest winds. I've got it zoomed in here. Pretty good. But let's zoom it out just a tad bit. And you can kind of get your bearings. There you are. There's Sydney. There's Homer. Strongest winds right there. Getting quite a bit of lightning on this storm. St. Joe, that's a pretty good storm there too. Maybe west of town. Going to get some heavy rainfall. Not seeing as much in the way of winds on that. Maybe a little bit more hail and some stronger heavier rain. Right now, our storm here is severe thunderstorm warned over Philo and the Sydney areas. I believe they continue to drop off the tornado watches.
Another report, Brandon Morano in the newsroom just passed this along. Springfield and State Street here in Champaign said that a tree has fallen and that that part of the road is actually underwater here in town. So that's not even that far away here from the studio.
No, I was going to say, okay, I'm going to turn the camera over there. You said Springfield and State?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on here. Yeah, bear with me here. I'm turning the camera. Okay. Strong storm continues over Sydney right now, heading towards the Homer area. I'm just trying to turn our... Jacob, we're kind of losing your signal there a little bit. I'll just tell you. Oh, power was off in Philo, but it is back on, says Jacob. All right, so Jacob is now coming into Philo. Okay, I think I see maybe some of the lights here. It's going to be, I think it's going to be just west of.
Can even see some emergency lights kind of reflecting off the building.
That's
too.
what I was saying. Like I can't see a ton, but yeah. So again, Springfield and State Street. It's just across from the station a little bit, but I think it's actually going to be probably just west of State Street, but along Springfield. So a tree. There's, if you know that area, there's a ton of trees that dot Springfield Avenue here in Champaign. So boy, sounds like a great idea to send Jason over there and get a picture.
I second that. It's within walking distance.
So if those of you that have watched a few weeks ago, Jason was on with us, our freelance weather forecaster with us, getting ready to graduate. When's graduation? Saturday. He's graduating.
Good day to do it compared to the days before and after it.
Yeah, no doubt. We're starting to, the thing is like these reports kind of come trickling in. It takes a while to kind of hear about what may have happened and whatnot. So, tree down just by the TV station over here. And the stronger winds are actually to the south in places like Tolono just a little bit ago. Yeah, strong winds coming there into Homer now. If you're watching over in Homer, strongest of the winds there. For planning, yeah, I just saw that lightning strike there, Jacob, on your shot. For planning purposes here, it sounds like as of right now, the 9 o'clock will go as normal. So, yeah. So that's coming up here in about 15 minutes. We'll attempt to do the streaming here all the way, but worst of the storm over the Homer area now. As far as the strongest of the winds, right into Homer. This is going to track pretty much along and south of 74 and 150, at least the strongest part of the winds. So places like St. Joe, Ogden, Fithian, Oakwood, the stronger of the winds are just to your south. Not by much, but it's going to hit more places like Homer, Fairmount, Catlin, Westville areas. So if you're in between those, then you have a better chance to see some of those stronger winds. Here's the loop, just to give you an idea over the last 45 minutes. There's our storm, quickly racing off to the east. Now pretty much on the Champaign and Vermilion County line. Why don't we take a glance at our Danville camera, see if we're seeing anything there off to the west, because with all of the lightning, probably you're still seeing. Let's see what we see here. See if we see any flashes within the first 20 seconds here. Power out in Sydney. Yeah, there's a flash there. Power out in Sydney. Jacob is 2 minutes out from Sydney. All right. Camera views back here in Champaign. Yeah, the night shot's good. There's an icon in the middle of your screen that I wish we could remove, but I mean, it looks good. You can pick out the clouds pretty good. So all right, we'll bring it back over here to the radar view. My power isn't out, and I am in Sydney. So somebody says it looks off. All right, let's see what Jacob can find there. Oh, it's on. Oh, okay. I thought you said it was off. All right, folks. The one lone cell by itself crossing into Vermilion County. Now it's on the Vermilion County line, the leading edge of it on the Vermilion County line. Coming into Homer. Severe thunderstorm warning. A question was, well, there's a tornado watch, but I got a severe thunderstorm warning. What's going on there? Well, you can still get severe thunderstorm warnings during a tornado watch. Tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes, but what we're concerned more about now, to be honest with you, it's not a tornado on this. This looks more like hail and wind. Smack dab between Ogden and Homer is where our storm sits along Highway 49. Right on 49 there between Ogden and Homer, strongest of the winds. Catlin-Homer Road coming across there. That stretches towards Bennett and Catlin. That's the area that these winds are going to come towards, Fairmount. Right now, the strongest winds probably on the north side of Homer, along 49, and right on the county line of Champaign and Vermilion County. What I want to do here is see if I can do this. I don't know if I have the right show pulled up, but I want to just kind of show tomorrow again. So look at the future track at 11:15 tonight. And I'm looking at this with you guys at the same time. So I think this is the updated scan. I'm not sure. Let's just go ahead. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Look at the storms forming down towards St. Louis. An eruption of storms, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So these actually are going to come through a little bit earlier. We could be talking, look at that. I mean, they're out of here by 7 o'clock. Pretty wild. So according to some of the new model data, let's just throw out a general 2 to 7 p.m. according to the model that I'm looking at. So this is tomorrow. That looks like a mess of storms. Worst of them still probably along I-70, but still some decent ones that stretch all the way up towards Springfield, Decatur, and Champaign. Again, this is the model for tomorrow. And then we'll catch a break, and the weekend looks really good. I'm just going to look at another one of our models here. I don't know if I have that one pulled in. See what it shows. Bear with me for a second. And we'll see what this one wants to do. So there's your storms tonight out of here. Let's go to tomorrow. Oh, why does that not go out? Does not go out far enough. Yeah. We're going to go 36 hours out. See if we can't see this. Get some of this data to come in. I don't know what is going on. Few branches. All right, here we go. This is what we're looking at. So there's our storms tonight. All right, tomorrow. So our other model here, a little bit less coverage. Still kind of the general time frame, maybe 3 to 8 or 9 p.m. So still an earlier arrival for the storms than what we had today for some. I think areas closer to I-70, probably the better chance. But again, the risk, the Storm Prediction Center risk for tomorrow does have the moderate risk that's showing up for our southern counties near I-70. Now, the update for that is going to come out later tonight. Try to pull this up. All right, there it is for the state. So there it is again, as we have seen multiple times this season, the southern part of Illinois, bullseye, dead center for that severe threat. So that's Effingham. It's Vandalia, where that moderate risk kind of comes up to. But to be honest with you, it's more like Carbondale, Mount Vernon. They've kind of been center stage for much of this throughout the course of this severe weather season. So it's not to say that Champaign will get nothing. You guys are still in the slight risk. You got the enhanced risk that comes into Taylorville, Shelbyville, Mattoon, Charleston, and Paris. And then that moderate risk, and this is for tomorrow.
Severe thunderstorm warning is canceled.
Say again?
Severe thunderstorm warning is canceled.
Okay, severe thunderstorm warning canceled. Down that way. So there you go. For the first time in several hours, we do not have any warnings in effect. I'll just show you the radar here real quick. Yeah, that storm that is now over Fithian. Boy, I think it just really collapsed, didn't it? Goodness. Yeah, not even hardly any winds in that. So you got storm over Fithian. Even the stuff coming out of Homer now isn't that impressive. That storm is collapsing. Still a lot of lightning and heavy rainfall that is moving through. Hey guys, so here's what I'm going to do. We don't have any more warnings in effect. And oh, there's one of our graphics showing the power outages that were coming. But we're going to wrap up some of the coverage here with you and kind of send things over to the newscast. If you would like to continue to watch the newscast here, we are going to be going to the news at 9 on WCIX 3.2, all that good stuff. Find us in various spots. So Seth is going to be on there. He's got about 4 minutes or so. If you'd like to continue to monitor things, he'll go into more detail about concerns about tomorrow, the timing of that and whatnot. And if you want to know some more, but since we don't have any more warnings left, all the warnings are done. The tornado watch technically done in an hour, but the severe weather threat definitely coming down. All right. I appreciate everybody who did tune into the live stream here. As you know by now, we do this for all of the severe weather events. Right down there, scan the QR code, sign up for weather call for the next event. Actually, it'd be good to do it for tomorrow because we do have a severe weather coming tomorrow. If you sign up there, you can get a phone call, an actual phone call from us. It will call your phone, not just text you. It'll come up and you can put it in your phone as weather call. You can put it in your phone as Chief Meteorologist Kevin Light if you want to, because I'll be on the other end of that and we call you. You can scan the QR code there if you'd like to sign up. And technically this works anywhere in the country. If you just put in your address and where you want to be notified from, it will do that for you. All right, that does it for all of us here. For meteorologist Jacob Dickey out in the storm tracker, Seth Bonoff, got Jason here in the studio here with us here tonight as well. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. I got a feeling we'll be back with you tomorrow at some point. So tune back in for that. Again, the news at 9 is coming up here in about 3 minutes. For now, we wrap up our coverage. Hope everybody stayed safe. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good night.